Thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Connect. I have a lovely human, a very smart woman to my right, your left probably, Manu of your social team.
Yeah.
And it's so great to have you here in studio because I've admired your career from afar. You all know I'm the biggest social media geek. Instagram is like my favorite. And to see that you are doing what you're doing in this space, and specifically with Instagram training, is so needed and like total gold. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and tell everybody watching, what does your social team do?
So your social team is my one-girl business that started a little over a year ago. And my focus is just to train companies on how to do Instagram for business in a way that adds value and entertainment.
Yes.
Because I think there's such a big disconnect on how businesses are doing Instagram today, and they're using it for promotion. Or sometimes for branding. And Instagram is neither of a branding or a promotion tool. It's like a community tool.
Right.
So I think like my goal is to teach people how to fix that disconnect and actually make an impact.
Absolutely. You know, if you are just contributing to noise, you're not going to see an impact.
Yeah.
And I love that your specialty is something that is so needed, and people really need to leverage that. I got my start as an entrepreneur, you know, with social media and an agency, and at the time it was Facebook. You know, businesses were clamoring to try to figure out like, I think I need a page, and like, what do I do? And like, so anyway, I have an instant connection to you, even though this is our first time really spending some quality time together, because I get it, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, woman-owned businesses, woman-run businesses, mothers who are working more than full-time, like just, I feel you, I'm here for you, I get it. When did so last April?
Last April, yeah. So I was working full-time at King of Pops as their
Another
marketing
great brand.
director. Yes,
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
But it was too exciting for me as a new mom. Like they never stop, which is great, you know, but weekends, like there are 20 events going on, nights and everything. So I had my first daughter when I was there, and after, you know, like trying to roll with the first year, I was like, the first year of motherhood. Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
Like I needed my weekends and I needed my nights and more flexibility, even though it was super flexible and nice, but I needed to have my own thing. I didn't want a job that I had to travel in. If I got another job, that's probably what would happen. So I just started as a small social media agency, just doing freelance work till I figured it out. And since I love events, I did this one workshop because people are actually, because of the work we did with King of Pops, especially on Instagram.
Yes.
Once I left, everybody was hitting me up and they're like, I want to pick her brain about social media and this and that. And then I'm like, okay, I was going to so many lunches. And I'm like, okay,
and
you're
not getting paid.
You're buying me lunch. Well, and also the person's not getting what they needed. So I was like, you pretend you have to ask about my daughter for 30 minutes and then you get like 10 minutes of social media advice. It's not good for any of us. And I couldn't really just talk to everybody I needed to talk to.
Right.
So I decided to just put on my own. I wasn't even at Switch Arts at this point. My office is at Switch Arts today. And I've been a member since very close to the beginning, but at that point I wasn't yet. I was just working from home, freelancing here and there. And I said, I'm gonna put together one event that is a social media workshop for small businesses. And I actually did that in a production house that I used to work with when I was back in Cartoon Network. And Sprocket, if you guys know them, they're amazing. So they opened their doors for me. We had this really great event at night. It's a really cool space, close to SCAD there, and sold out, like 25 people right off the bat. And I was like, okay, there's definitely a need, and I really enjoy it.
Yes.
And I don't think anyone is doing, actually, I cannot even find like another company, whether it's very small like mine or bigger, that is just focused on Instagram training in the country. Like I cannot find it. So there are lots of companies that are doing lots of training, like General Assembly and, you know, many other training companies. Social media agencies sometimes have their workshops and stuff like that, but there's no one that is really just focused on that every day. So I felt like there was a really need there and a niche that I wanted to jump in, and I love it.
It's absolutely. I mean, you're living the dream.
Yeah, I'm doing like this August, I'm doing like my 100th classes. Like I'm getting to that in less than a year and a half, so it's crazy.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And so for people who want to sign up for one of your classes, they should go to yoursocial.team.
Yes, or Instagram at your social team.
Yes.
I always have everything on the link in bio there.
beautiful, smart.
Hey.
You're social savvy, aren't you?
A little bit.
Look at that. And what can somebody expect if they were to sign up for a class?
Okay, so I have like a bunch of different ones, and I actually do corporate training too.
Great.
Like I train the tenants at Jamestown, both at Palm City Market and Westside Provisions. I train other companies, even banks sometimes. Like, yeah.
Everybody needs help.
Everybody needs it. So, but the classes that I put together myself that anyone can sign up and go to, I just changed them by topic. So I have one, tomorrow I have one that is called Beating the Algorithm. So I really explain to people how the algorithm works, because no one gets it, everybody's just mad at it. How you work around it, and you know, how it really impacts you or not. And then I have a class just for, I'm starting a new class in a couple weeks that is just IGTV and other tools that you're not using.
Right.
Because people are not using those for businesses.
Yeah.
Even stories, a lot of people are not leveraging stories. So I do have a class that is just on stories. I have a phone photography class, because I feel like that's another problem. I couldn't just teach that on my own, so I get someone else to come and teach with me. Her name is Gabby Valadares. She's a content creator in town, and I love her. She's great. So we teach together and have a blast. Get out and switch yards and go take photos outside downtown and stuff.
I mean, such an amazing
so fun,
canvas,
yeah.
you know?
So yeah, I have all these different ones, and I'm always putting new ones together too.
It's great. I learn something every time I even open one of your emails.
Oh, nice.
And you know, you think you know everything, right? You're like, I use it enough, and I've been in the space. Like, no, like you are solely dedicated, and you are a true thought leader.
So fast.
It does.
It changes too fast, so it's really hard. Even people in agencies, like I train some agencies, because people cannot keep up. Like if they're doing anything else, you know, even if they're just producing a lot of photography and stuff, it's really hard to keep up. Instagram is literally putting out new tools almost weekly, like definitely monthly. So like when I teach my classes 3 weeks later, I'm already changing like 10 slides if I have the same class going on. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. The pace is really crazy.
So I have to ask, and it's okay that you don't divulge, but like, what's your secret sauce? Are you like BFF with head of product at Instagram? Like, how do you know this stuff?
It's
right?
actually so for Instagram news, because there's a lot of stuff outside. Especially if you look at blogs and in the Instagram community, people just share a lot of stuff that is just speculation, lots of rumors. So
yeah, so
especially with algorithm, I go for TechCrunch, Instagram.
Yeah,
you know?
Instagram's own blog.
Yeah, like whatever they put out there. Every time there's a big change, they do have a press release. They usually have tutorials. So I'm always keeping an eye on TechCrunch and stuff. And a lot of people in town, they're like, oh, I saw this first on your feed. You know, it's because I'm really keeping an eye and making sure that whenever there's a change, I teach people how to use them and how to leverage for their businesses and stuff like that.
That's smart. I'm just so thankful that you're doing that. Because it saves me a lot of time.
Good, yeah, that's the idea.
I really do.
And that is the idea, because that is my full-time job, so I'm always doing that all day long, keeping up with everything that is going on, trying to test new apps, creating content different ways, telling people how to do it. And the idea is that a lot of people like me, my business just turns out that it is Instagram, so that's what I do. But anyone that has a small company, and even bigger companies, but especially the people that I feel like it's my soft spot, the people that just need lots of tools to do their own thing. Yeah. You're probably working on product development and sales and things that are more important for your business. So if I can make people save time, like that's what makes me happy about doing this. And all the free tips on the feed all the time is just to get people to get a little bit out of it, even if they're not in Atlanta or they don't come to my class.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's been fun.
Yeah. And just for me watching from afar, I can imagine like you're living it.
Well, you know, it's not all flowers like anything else.
I know. I make, pie in the sky.
Yeah. Well, it is fun, but starting your own business, as you may know, as an entrepreneur, like, actually, I just learned to say the word entrepreneur like a month ago, so I'm getting better.
Yeah, you are. You are an entrepreneur. You are a hashtag lady boss,
there
right?
You go, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you follow Mom Boss blog?
Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah,
she's raised Series B, $10 million, fat merchant.
Yeah.
Love you. Not in a creepy way, just in like a cool way.
Not in a weird way.
Yeah, nothing weird.
The influencer marketing field right now is super exciting too. Everything that they're doing in partnership with big brands and to leverage smaller brands too. Like I love that I do teach a class just on influencer
and
marketing.
It's really shifted too. I mean, I was in the influencer marketing space back when mom blogs had a ton of power.
Yeah.
And they were called mommy blogs, and like, you know what I mean? But it feels like more and more now, the landscape is so noisy.
Yeah.
And if everything you're putting out is hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored, nobody is going to care.
Yeah, I think the balance is really important, but also like there's 1 billion accounts on Instagram right now, more than 1 billion accounts. And that's people, it's not the algorithm. It's the number of accounts that are in there that I say to people, in a crowded party, you don't see your friends, you know?
Right.
So any of those bloggers that had a really good looking feed, and even if their connections they're not starting big conversations or anything, but just their feed was good to look at, they're showing good products, good, you know, inspiration, they would do really well like 3-4 years ago. And today, you would see people that have a gorgeous feed, but they don't have the following, they don't have the engagement, because there's just too many of those.
So
there's too many accounts.
Can you cut through the clutter? Like, who
yeah.
are the people that are cutting through the clutter?
There's a lot of people cutting through the clutter. So there's a girl that I love that is from New York. Her Instagram is awsam, aww.sam. And you would, if you look at her Instagram, you will see why I love her. It's all like bubblegum color too, like super fun and colorful. But she's an influencer from New York. She's a content creator, DIY blogger. And I brought her from New York for a workshop, because I team up with people sometimes so they can teach their side of the things, the business. And she is still leveraging, you know, like all her followers, engagement, slowly growing. Like I'm sure she grew much faster years ago.
Right.
But she's still slowly growing, always trying to create content differently, always trying to add value to people and engage. Sometimes one thing that she does that I think is really cool is that sometimes she asks her followers to introduce themselves in the comments. And then she goes and she actually checks each of their businesses or their pages, and she'll do a story with a lot of their names and what they do and a little comment. So people are just taking the extra step to create content that people care about. They feel like they have a connection with them, and those are the people who are actually cutting through the clutter.
That's so great. Yeah, even for me, like I'm balancing, you know, telling my story in the most authentic way possible, and sometimes my picture isn't going to be as crisp, as clear, as much contrast, as polished. But at the same time, it's true to my story. So it's like, do I need to have a separate brand account and then like a more private, like this is my life and no frills? But I don't want to do that. I just want one. I just want one.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times I'll archive stuff. Like I'll keep it up, but then I'll archive it so that when people come to my feed, it is pleasant.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put like a fake portrayal out there, but like there is a balance of wanting to have a beautiful feed and get more followers.
And not everybody's a photographer. I do the reason that we do the phone photo class, and why I love it is because we teach also people how to edit their photos, because
so important.
Oh my
people.
Gosh. Like every time you take a photo of your phone, you need to edit all of them before you put them up. And it doesn't take long once you get used to it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the feeds always need to be completely like glossy, and I mean for people who can take photos like that and that's true to them and they can do that in a way that is not fake or superposed and stuff, more power to them, of course. But I think a lot of people can just take photos that are genuine. And you know, there's a girl here in Atlanta, her name is Mint Carla on Instagram, Carla with a K, and she's a content creator, mom blogger. You see her feed, it's gorgeous, but it's not professionally taken. She's a photographer. She can take an amazing photo. Right. But her feed is very genuine. It feels like you're in their house, and you're, you know, not in a creepy way again. But it's a lot about her daughters and how they all dress vintage and stuff like that. And it's just a treat because it's so authentic.
Yes.
So you don't have to have a photographer in the studio for all your shots.
I know, like there was a point probably 6 months ago where I was like, do I need to buy a DSLR just to, you know, take it to the next level? And no. Like
phones are so good today that I honestly, when people ask me like, should I just buy a big camera? And I'm like, once you're taking amazing photos of your phone, that's when you maybe take the extra step. Although by then maybe like the phone is going to be better than the camera again.
I cannot wait till September. I'm like,
oh, that's when the new one comes out.
One coming. I need it. I don't need it. I want it.
But you know, there's a hack for that too, because not everybody has iPhone 10 or iPhone 8 Plus. Sorry, I'm an iPhone girl, but I don't even know how the Androids work comparatively. I know some of them have amazing cameras too.
They do. I am Apple by nature.
I know.
Apple by nature.
Not hashtag
Not because I
ad.
hate you. But I had an Android once, the one that kept exploding with
nice.
the pen, and it was amazing. The photo quality, it was better than Apple.
But
I'm just gonna
like
put it out there.
what I say is that there's a lot of people that don't have like the super expensive latest phone. And there's one really cool hack on Instagram is that if you open Instagram stories, when you go to the camera mode, which is right as you open it, you can swipe on the bottom, there's all these different modes. And there's a mode called focus to take picture of people. It's the exact same way as the portrait on the iPhone. So if you don't have iPhone 8 Plus or 10, focus feature, take your photo. See, she's already writing it down over there.
Yep.
So, it's awesome.
That was a free tip,
Yeah,
by
free
the
tip,
way.
everybody. I do lots of free tips.
This is what happens when you watch Connect. You get awesome tips
But
from
seriously,
really smart people.
like I'm passionate about that hack because you don't even need to put on your stories. You can just save to your camera, add it later, and then do whatever, like stories, send it to your grandma, whatever.
That's so smart.
Yeah, that's an awesome hack.
I could talk to you for hours and would like to at some point. For the sake of the show and keeping it short and sweet and good content for YouTube.
She's kicking me out, everybody.
I'm not kicking you out. No, actually, I want to know how can we help? Like you are a one-woman business. Your opportunity is scalable.
Yeah.
How do we help you scale? How do we give you more business and help you?
There's an interesting part of the business that I am right now, or an interesting phase of myself and my business is that I'm pregnant, so I'm having a baby at the end of the year. I know, it's like sitting oddly right now. So I'm also like, I'm teaching classes every week, and I'm like standing for like 3-4 hours and just talking to people. So, which is actually kind of cool timing because my audience has been growing. And a lot of people ask me for online classes. So I'm going to start that now. So I'm releasing online classes later this year.
Perfect.
So I can take a little bit time off.
Yes, you need it.
Of course, I'll keep up with my clients and I'll keep up with the business, but I'm not going to be teaching a bunch of classes in person for a little while. So yeah, getting the word out, everybody. Like follow at Your Social Team. On our link in bio, it has like a very quick sign up for the newsletter. Just enter your email there. Because the newsletters I always send out also like the 5 things you're doing wrong in your marketing campaigns.
The tips are gold. They really are.
Thank you. That's sweet. I try to be super helpful. So, and I'm gonna make more IGTV videos too that are just resources for people and things like that. So yeah, spreading the word is super helpful.
Good. Yeah, you all need to follow at Your Social Team. Make sure you bookmark yoursocial.team. Sign up for the email. It really is not clutter. Like we all get way too many emails, but
yeah, I try to do it twice a month.
Yeah, that's a great cadence, by the way. And like you really appreciate the nuggets that come in there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thank you so much for what you're doing. Your dedicated time to just figuring out the monster, the good monster that is Instagram.
I love that monster.
It's a great monster.
It's fun.
I'm so stoked that I live in a time where it exists because it's fun.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to share my stories. I love to be able to edit my photos. I love seeing glimpses in other people's worlds. And I don't know, it's just fun. It makes me happy. So
good.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're so
Manu.
welcome. Yeah.
And as a fellow, woman to woman, mom to mom, business owner to business owner, like high five.
High five.
Big things poppin'.
Thank you.
Women in tech. Everybody support Manu. Yoursocial.team. Thank you
so much. Thanks for having me, everybody.
Anytime.